When ultralight sunlight hits our skin, it affects each of us a little differently. Depending on skin color, it will take only minutes to exposure and turn one person beautiful pink. But other requires hours to experience the slightest change. So what's account for that differences and how did our skin come to take on so many different colors to begin with? Whatever the color, our skin tells an epic tale of human intrepidity and adaptability, revealing experience to be a function of biology. It all centers around melanin, a pigment that gives skin and hair its color. These ingredients come from skin cells called melanocytes, take two basic forms. There's aluminum, give the rise and the range of brown skin tones, as well as black, brown, and blonde hair. And phenomena, which causes the reddish browns and freckles and red hair. But humans weren't always like this. By varying skin tones were formed by evolutionary driven by the sun. It began 50,000 years ago when our ancestors migrated from the north of Africa into Europe and Asia. These ancient humans lived between the equator and the tropic Capricorn. The region started by the sun's UV carrying rays. When skin is exposed to UV for a long period of time, the UV light damages the DNA within our cells, and skin starts to burn. If the damage is severe enough, the cell functions and leads to melanoma, a deadly cancer that forms in the skin melanocytes. Sunscreens as we know today didn't exist 5,000 years ago, so how did our ancestors cope with this onslaught of UV? The key to the survival lay on their own personal sunscreen, manufactured by the benefit of skin, melanin. This type of amount of melanin in the skin determines whether you will be more or less protected from the sun. This comes down as skin responds to sunlight strikes it. And when exposed to UV light, they trigger special light-sensitive receptors called receptors, which stimulate the production of melanin inside our cells from the sun. For light-skinned people, the extra melanin darkens their skin and produces a tan over a course of generations. Humans living by the sun-saturated altitudes of Africa and adapted to higher melanin production treehouse and more aluminum, giving the skin a darker tone. This built-in sun shield helps protect them from melanoma, likely making them invulnerable and capable of passing this useful trait to new generations. But soon, some of our sun-adapted ancestors migrated northward and out of the tropical zone, spreading far and wide across the earth. The further north they traveled, the less direct sunlight they saw. This was a problem because although UV can light cause damage skin, it also has an important partial benefit. UV helps our body produce vitamin D, an ingredient that strengthens our bone and lets us absorb the vital minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphate, and zinc. Without it, humans experience serious fatigue and weakened bones, and that can cause a condition known as rickets. For humans whose dark skin effectively blocked whatever sunlight was, vitamin D deficiency would have posed a serious threat in the north, but some of them happened to possess them less melanin, and they were exposed to small enough amount of light that melanin was less likely, and the lighter skin better absorbed the UV light. So, they benefited from the vitamin D, developed strong bone, and survived well enough to produce healthy offspring. Over many generations and selection, the skin color in those regions gradually lightened as a result of ancestral and adaptability. Today, the planet is full of people with a vast palette of skin colors, typically darker aluminum-rich skin in the hot, sunny band of the equator, and increasingly lighter and melanin-rich skin face in the fanning outwards as the sunshine griddles. Therefore, skin color is a little more than an adaptive trait for living on a rock that orbits the sun. It may also absorb light, and it certainly does not reflect its character.